Even though sometimes it may not feel like it, we all have gifts to share. Many we probably haven't even recognized them as gifts, and yet they are. And we have an opportunity to do more about that. So this week we are going to talk about finding your gift. And today we're going to discuss where to look on episode 719 of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Happy Monday, Tom.
Happy Monday to you as well, Bob. How was your weekend?
It was good. Quick quiz for you. Is all the turkey that you had on Thanksgiving gone by now? Because I was reading over the weekend that 3 days after Thanksgiving, that turkey's got to be gone, or else you start to run some health risks with the meat.
Really? Even if you freeze it?
No, if you freeze it, you're fine. But if it's in the refrigerator, you got about 3 days. Now, I'm going to guess when we were kids, they went 7-10 days probably. I feel like I had turkey every single day for like the next week and a half. Maybe I'm wrong. That's probably faulty memory. But is all your turkey either frozen or devoured? Okay.
Yeah, and it typically is.
Okay.
Just because we usually have people here, and so. Although this year was different because the Bills were playing, we ate a little later. Typically, we have a sort of early afternoon lunch meal, and so then it's turkey sandwiches and leftovers that night. Go right into Friday lunch, leftovers Friday night. Yeah, so ours is gone easily.
I don't like turkey, so it's just not my thing.
I don't like turkey.
I've never liked turkey. I love chicken, don't like turkey.
They're both birds.
Thank you, Tom. Really? This just in.
I thought everything tastes like chicken.
Since you did that to me, I'm going to do this to you. Hey, what was the score of that Bills game on Thursday? I didn't get to catch that final score. What was that score again?
You know, I think I fell asleep somewhere near the end, but I want to say it was 35-17.
Okay, 35-17. Folks, what's happening? We are recording this on Thanksgiving morning, so Tom can't know that score. If it turns out to be 35-17, I'm going to ask him next for lotto numbers, and then after that, we'll figure out other things.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Yes.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week, we have a conversation around a topic, and then each day we dive into that topic a little deeper. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about finding your gifts, and we'll discuss where to look so you can try to identify.
Under the tree. I told you that already, Tom.
Under the tree. What if your tree's not up yet? What if you don't have a tree? Now what do you do? We'll talk about that. We'll save that for the conversation. As we go through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to share them on whatever social media you happen to be following us on, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or
LinkedIn Live, baby.
LinkedIn Live, baby. Yes. And at the conclusion of that conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing.
What was that?
I don't know. I just sort of lost focus.
That was fun.
Your whole LinkedIn Live, baby thing sometimes throws me because I don't
know why it throws you.
Well, sometimes you do some different things.
I'm thinking, I just had the idea, LILB t-shirts. On the front, it says LILB, and on the back, it says LinkedIn Live, baby.
Does it say LIL''B? So you're Little B? Is that your new nickname, Lil B?
No, I told you. I'm Mixmaster Bobby G. Get it right.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. So about us at the end of our conversation, we will share our one thing. The thing that we hope will help today's antidote. The thing we hope will help you figure out how to take your next step along your own unique pathway to success. So please feel free to share your ideas as well, as we know that'll add value to the conversation, and it might be the one thing someone is desperately seeking to
Tom,
help them.
can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
I heard what you said, but I didn't process it until I wrote it out. LIL''B is really fun. That's really good. I like that even better. That'd be a fun nickname, Lil B. Especially if you met me, because I'm 6'6" tall. So, really?
So you should change your name on your Zoom thing to LIL''B.
I will take care of that.
You know what'll happen? You'll have some very important Zoom call, and it'll show up as that, and they'll be like, "Who is this guy?"
You know, I could walk through that.
Yeah, but your hand might be running through your hair a lot throughout the rest of the show as the people are trying to figure that all out.
I like it.
All right, everyone. Before we dive into our conversation about finding your gifts, each morning, Bob and I share our celebrations. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm going to celebrate all the people that worked over the weekend so that I was able to go out and enjoy myself, from everything from tree lightings to storefronts to everything. There are a lot of people that work the holiday weekend so that some of us can go out and goof off and shop, and they don't get the appreciation that I think they deserve, because they're putting their family and their friends and their time aside to help. And I know it's a business for a lot of them, but still, they could just as easily close for those 3 or 4 days.
Sure. They could. No doubt. I like that.
How about you?
I am celebrating a new chapter in the Brush family life.
Whoa.
One of the reasons that we are recording this is because I am en route to pick up a new puppy for our family, a border collie Australian sheepdog mix, and helping Liz drive it back to our house because it's up in New
Liz,
York.
our amazing voice artist, who
Our
does
voice artist, and more importantly, my lovely wife.
Yeah. Well played on a Monday.
So we are driving back. Well, actually, we're driving up right as we speak to go get this puppy, and life will be a little different in the Brush household.
I hope you'll be providing us with some video on tomorrow's program of said puppy reaching your home, and
Yes.
we've got to see it.
Absolutely.
We've met my cat, so that we need to meet your dog.
But probably our cat and dog shouldn't meet.
No. Well, I don't know.
And we already have the name.
If my cat is on my lap when you show the video tomorrow, my cat will paw at the screen.
Okay. And on Thursday, you had a quiz for me. This one should be a little easier because I think I've already shared this with you.
Okay.
We've already named the puppy. Do you know what? Can you remember what the name of our puppy is?
Oh, I remember it intimately. Jovi from Elf.
Yes. One of our favorite movies and winter movies. Elf.
Cottonhead and Minnie Muggin.
Yeah, there are a lot of great lines from that movie. We could get stuck doing that and not spend any time finding our gifts.
They on Saturday they were showing it on one of the networks 24 hours straight, which that it's the beauty of being able to just pop in and know that it's on and be able to pick it up, whether it's 9:30 in the morning or 9:30 in the evening or any time in between. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So now that we've celebrated, let's dive into our topic. Bob, as we talk about finding your gifts and where to look, what are your thoughts?
The first place to look is inside. Each of us. I think most of the gifts that I have, I knew about. I just didn't think of them as gifts. And every so often someone says something like, "You're really good at X," and it throws me. And what's interesting also to me is I know what I'm good at deep down. I don't always admit it because I don't want to come off as the guy who knows that he's really good at this or really good at that. But I think we've got to start from inside because we've got to use our gifts, right? That's really the goal, is that, it becomes easier when we use our gifts. If I'm someone who's not funny at all, it's going to be awfully hard to be really funny. If I'm someone who's inherently funny and just sees the world and sees the comedy in it, I should use that as a gift because that's the authentic me, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think where I would start looking is inside. And then the second place I'd look is the people that you value, what they say to you in terms of, hey, you're really good at this, you're really good at that. Everything from teachers in school. I had a writing teacher my junior year of high school who said, you're a really good writer, you should come work for the school paper. That changed the whole trajectory of my life. Had he not said that to me, I don't know that I would be where I am in so many ways. It was really a powerful thing for me. I think there are also other people in our lives that tell us things like, hey, you're really good at this, and we don't think about it. And the people that I really value the most are the people that don't know me, that say something. Like if you're at a party and someone says, wow, you're really good at this thing, or you're really good at that. If you don't know me and you see these gifts of mine, that really, to me, that's like put a star on it because that person's seeing something. And different people see different gifts. I threw a lot at you there.
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking about that, and as you were talking about it, because that was one of the things that was one of the thoughts that I was thinking about.
So good to go first.
Well, and then as I was listening, you said good a number of times.
Okay.
And me, it sounds like a judgment that either we were making upon ourselves or others were making, and that
gifts are good things, right?
I
don't give a gift on Christmas to the person I hate. I just don't do it.
Yes. Well, I would hope that you weren't hating them. That sounds like a judgment as well. So one of the things I just think about is like,
we're going to have to rename this program. How many times can Bob say a sentence that's not a judgmental sentence? That would be the new title. It's a little longer, but oh, I said, but there you go.
And you said longer, which is a judgment. I just think I think that sometimes that's maybe the first place people start to look. And I think that only covers the surface of the gifts we have. Because I think we could have a gift that we share and someone else judges that and says, because we feel like we're sharing something of value. And someone says, well, I already knew that. And they kind of blow it off. Rather than saying, hey, thanks for sharing that. That's something I had been thinking about a little bit. And I appreciate that you would share this. And so I think there's the opportunity to go to like, what do we enjoy? And that not based on what others say about us or what we have gone through and processed to say, but just like, what are the things that I really enjoy and how can I share my enjoyment of that with others in a way to have an impact on them? And I think that that's a different way to look at gifts, because I think the answer that people would come up with right away is, what are the things that I'm good at? And again, I think that's dismissing a whole host of other value that you have that you can share that might impact someone, whether they tell you about it or not, whether they offer you feedback from it or not. It has there are things that we have been given, knowledge, experience, and perspective that we could share. And I think sometimes if all we think about our gifts are the things we're good at, we might miss the fact that we are further along in the knowledge, experience, and perspective around something that maybe we wouldn't consider ourselves good at. And yet we're ahead of where someone else is. And so the willingness to share that helps them move forward. So they have a different take. What's real for them is different based on what we've shared, even though we may think that, if you don't think you're good at grammar, And yet you see someone else where they have looked and they haven't used it correctly. And you share that with them, even though, or if you say, well, I don't want to really provide feedback on somebody's grammar because I'm not that good at it. Well, you might be further ahead than they are, or at least your perspective on this one part of it is different than they are. And so by not sharing that, you've missed an opportunity to help someone continue to move further. What do you think about that?
I think you spent a lot of time over the weekend thinking about this.
Honestly, that came up while you were talking. Honestly.
Wow, that was pretty deep, pretty heavy.
I
think I'm ready for my one thing based on that.
Already?
Yes.
You don't have any feedback on that?
I don't. No. I want to get my one thing out before I forget it.
Okay, go ahead. What's your one thing
around finding your gifts and where to look? It distills what you said, I think, and that's why I want to get it out now. I think it is that the gifts are the things that we can contribute to helping someone in a moment with whatever knowledge, experience, and perspective we have that can be supportive to them or empowering to them or guiding them in a new direction. And that it doesn't have to be a one-to-one with, I'm really funny, so I should crack a joke. It could be, as you gave the example, I'm not really good at grammar. I saw a grammar mistake. I'm going to point it out. It could also be, I'm really good at grammar. I see a grammar mistake and I could point it out and also explain why it is. So hopefully that person can learn so that their knowledge, experience, and perspective going forward is broader and they can identify those things for themselves. How's that?
That's really good.
Okay, good.
That's really
this is
clear.
Like a ping pong match.
Well, I think, and that's sort of where I was starting to think about is that as I think about that, if I was going to offer my one thing, I think where to look is look into your knowledge, experience, and perspective, and all of it has value. Mm-hmm. For some, they'll be more impacted by you sharing it than others. I could share something about grammar or something about giving presentations or something about going in on a sales call with someone or networking. And others may find it valuable, really impactful, and others may not. And because they have already had some of that knowledge, experience, perspective, or might even have different, more expansive than I had. And so it's, if we think of it that way, that others have a gift, and so I don't need to share my knowledge, experience, and perspective, I think we have an opportunity to miss out on really helping others and impacting what's real for them. And so, I think that they're there, and we'll probably get into more of this throughout the week, if we are willing to look and understand what's real for us. If we have comprehended or at least gone back and reviewed and try to understand and maybe even written down all of the gifts that we have, all the knowledge, experience, and perspective that we have. You talked last week about creating a list of all the things we're thankful for. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an interesting conversation. And I know something that we will do a little bit of in our workshop on December 8th, that if you haven't signed up for, there's still time. On this Cyber Monday, there are some good deals around that as well.
Oh, you're going to force me to put the link in, and I wasn't ready for that.
Well, that's okay. I'll keep talking while you're doing that.
Okay.
That it's an opportunity for you to explore your knowledge, experience, and perspective as you look at those things that you want to do. And I think it's similar to what are those things that we can share with others, the gifts that we can give is better understanding or differently understanding our knowledge, experience, and perspective and not judging it. Well, I know this about this. I had a perfect example. I don't know if it's a perfect example. Why did I use perfect? I don't like that word. It was an example. I was officiating a game, and there was a call that was made. I was with a much more senior official and was our head official, and even the other official had more experience than I did. And so, or different experience than I did. And so there was a call that was made. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think we administered that correctly. And I started thinking about my experience and compared it to theirs and made a judgment that, well, they have more experience than I do, so I'll let it go. Rather than saying they have different experience than I do and I should share it because I believe it will offer value, and I chose not to. And I had the correct administration and could have helped my team out with that. I chose not to share the gift that I had of that knowledge. So I would encourage you all to better understand, differently understand your knowledge, experience, and perspective, and don't judge it. Share it.
Nice. I like it. This is a great episode.
Yes,
go back and listen again.
If you have thoughts or ideas about finding your gifts and where to look, please feel free to share them in the comments, because we know that it'll add value. If you happen to be listening to the podcast, and we know we keep saying there's no place to share your comments, and yet there is. If you just go to LinkedIn and go to our Renegade Success Network for Leaders group, or hop into Facebook and go to the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, you can share your thoughts and ideas there, and even your one thing, because we know that that'll add value. That's a part of identifying your gifts and then being willing to share them, because the value that you've thought of is value that maybe somebody else never has, and then it might help them figure out how to move forward along their own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing you inside of those groups. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next episode of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you. You are so worth it.
You certainly are. And maybe start that list of the gifts that you have. Or dive in today, focus on your knowledge. Tomorrow you can focus on your experience, and then you can consider your perspective. Go out and make it great. Folks, we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.